Hi, this is John Modine with Masters Property Management, RE/MAX Masters, and I want to help you learn more about successful investment property strategies here in Northwest Ohio. And today's topic is about rental insurance for property owners, not real insurance for tenants, but for owners. And I'm asking the question, is your landlord insurance actually protecting you? If you own rental property, you have insurance on it, and you probably assume your insurance has you covered. But an estimated 2/3 of residential properties in the U.S. are underinsured now, and most landlords don't find out until they file a claim. And I'm not an insurance agent. I have a brother who's an insurance agent, and he's taught me a lot. And I'm not here to sell you a policy. My brother Dave can do that, but I've managed and manage hundreds of properties. I've seen what happens when landlords file claims and they find out way too late that their coverage has a giant hole in it. A pipe bursts, a tenant destroys something, the storm hits, and suddenly the landlord is writing a check they thought the insurance company would handle. In fact, my basic assumption is they're going to deny your claim, and you should feel that way too. I've learned that from my brother. Assume it's denied and act proactively from there. The problem is, it's almost never they don't have insurance. It's that their policy was not properly read, understood, and you assume it covers more than it did. So I'll give you 3 gaps that can cost you money. Number 1, your policy probably doesn't cover what your tenant does to your property on purpose. This is one that catches most landlords and property owners off guard. Standard landlord insurance typically doesn't cover intentional damage caused by tenants. Think about it. If it did, the property insurance companies would be paying costs everywhere, every day, all over Northwest Ohio. If a tenant punches a hole in a wall during an argument, that's probably covered because it's sudden and accidental, but you're never going to make a claim for it. It's too small of an act and a claim. But if a tenant trashes a unit on the way out, rips out fixtures, damages appliances, destroys flooring, your standard policy is generally going to exclude that. You're going to need a specific vandalism or mischief malicious endorsement to cover, and you're just not going to be able to afford that. On top of that, your policy doesn't cover your tenant's belongings. That's what renter's insurance is for, and I've done a little topic on that. And if your tenant doesn't have it and something happens, they're going to come looking for answers for their lost possessions to you, and you can't give it to them. Requiring renter's insurance in your lease is one of the simplest ways to protect your insurance policy and your wallet. Number 2, floods, earthquakes, sewer backups, mold, radiation damage are almost never included by default. Standard landlord insurance excludes flood damage, earthquake damage, sewer and drain backups in most mold situations. Water damage is one of the most common landlord claims filed every year, and a simple sewer backup can be anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 just in cleanup, and much more if the line itself collapsed. And you're not going to be able to get an insurance company to cover you on that. And if you own property in a flood zone or an area prone to storms, hey, like Northwest Ohio, you might need a separate flood policy. And if your property has older plumbing, a sewer backup rider could save you from a catastrophic bill. A lot of insurance carriers don't cover that, so that's a whole other discussion. And mold, which often develops after water damage, is only covered under very specific circumstances. So the point isn't that you need every endorsement available. You need to know what is and isn't included and what's excluded on your policy, so you can decide what gaps are worth filling based on your property and your risk, and I can help with that. Number 3, replacement cost is probably outdated. Insurance premiums have been, and this is especially true in Toledo, insurance premiums have been climbing every year, and a lot of landlords keep their coverage the same or even reduce it to save money. But construction costs and material prices have gone up through the roof since your policy was probably started 5, 10, 20 years ago. And if your dwelling coverage is based on replacement cost from 5 years ago, you might not have enough to actually rebuild or repair your property after a major loss. You can never include the lot. You can include the apartment building, but those costs have skyrocketed. The gap between what you're insured for and what you can actually spend to rebuild is money that comes out of your pocket. So review your replacement cost estimate at every renewal. Make sure it reflects current construction costs in your area. Now, again, I'm not an insurance agent, but I've seen enough claims go sideways, get the big red claim denial stamp added to them, and that hurts landlords the most. And if you're not sure what your policy covers, or if it's been a while since you've reviewed it, have that conversation with your insurance agent or your property manager. And if you want to help figuring out what to look for, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm happy to walk you through what I've seen and help you make sure your investment is actually protected. Hey, the real estate market's constantly changing. It never stops changing. And we do things different today in property management for investors that were impossible 10, 20, 30 years ago. And my team is always changing too, and we're ready to help you and your family Get the right help for your real estate problems. Our team motto is simple: a tradition of trust in Northwest Ohio real estate. This tradition of trust ethos works. It's based on proven biblical concepts like turn the other cheek and pray for your enemy and tell the truth all the time. We treat others better than they want to be treated, and I can't wait to help more people buy, sell, manage, and grow their real estate holdings. Thanks for watching. If you need help, if you have real estate questions, if you want to sell or buy, just call me. I'm John Modine at 419-466-SOLD. Check me out at besthomesintoledo.com, modine.com, and mlstoledo.com for every home for sale right now in Northwest Ohio. Thanks for watching.